Hello to all my divine beings, and welcome to this week's episode of Confessions of a New Age Goddess. As always, I'm the New Age Goddess herself, Melissa. This week, we will be talking all about how being spiritually minded can help you with your business successes. Joining me today is Tina Lopez, who helps coaches really shine with their businesses. And she's going to be talking to us a little bit about her being spiritually minded has helped her with her business successes. So, Tina, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here.
Could you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how you got into the business coaching industry?
My name's Tina. So I actually am an online business coach. My little tagline is, I help online coaches land high-paying coaching clients without a large audience, email list, and paid ads. In terms of how I got here, I think it's really interesting, being an entrepreneur. When you take that first leap into entrepreneurship, it's really scary. And I just decided, after, owning multiple businesses before I got into business coaching, I realized I was like, I really love helping entrepreneurs, especially because I know with, entrepreneurship, it can truly change families, communities, and the world. I've seen it within my own family, and I've seen it, across the board. Just in the world in general. So I just really want to be part of that foundation with my business coaching. And if I could help someone like pave the way to change so many things, that is what I live for, truly.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great mission to have. And it really kind of keeps everything in mind when you do work with the client, while you are passionate about what you do. Okay, great.
Mhm.
So could you talk, we could both talk about this, but if you want to express a little bit even how we met and how we ended up working together as well.
Yeah, so first and foremost, if you don't already know Melissa, she's an awesome Reiki energy practitioner and she does a lot of things. So if you haven't worked with her, most definitely work with her. So I don't know, Melissa, if you know this, but I actually worked with another energy practitioner, and long story short, it didn't work out, and we it's good, but she had said that she couldn't move forward anymore, and so I had asked her, I was like, hey, I don't know many energy practitioners in the Chicagoland area, and I was like, hey, can you recommend someone to me? And she said, Melissa. Melissa, I reached out to her. She was very responsive. Like the minute I sent her a message, she got back to me, I think within 20 minutes, something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, she's the real deal here. But she's awesome. She is an amazing Reiki practitioner. She has helped me so much just through the healing process that I've gone through. And so I love working with her, and I continue to work with her to this day.
Awesome. Yes, no, I appreciate the compliments, definitely. How did you even, just in terms of Reiki, it wasn't something that was new to you and we met. So why were you even looking for a practitioner? What even led you to that healing journey?
Yeah, so first with when it comes to Reiki, I'm not new to Reiki. I had my first experience. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great experience, but then I decided to go back to it with the previous person I met, and then now I worked with you. I guess the reason why I was really looking into healing was back in August of the previous year, I actually hit really bad burnout in my coaching business. And I think this is something that's not really talked about within the coaching industry or just within, entrepreneurs in general. And so it came to a point where I was just so, mentally exhausted, drained, and just excuse my my bad language here, but it just was like a shit show for me. And so I just, for some reason, I think it was intuitively or something, but somebody kind of I can't describe it, it was like a whisper that said energy, focus on energy over and over again. And I was just like, well, I got nothing to lose. I'm just going to listen to it. So what ended up happening was, I read all the books. I'm still reading Donna Eden, Energy Medicine, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. And it just got to a point where I was like, I really feel like I need to work with someone who can help me because I can only help myself to such an extent. And so I kind of needed that facilitator, and I did a bunch of work. I looked and researched, and that's how I came to the person before. I met Melissa, and then Melissa, we're here today, continuing to do our sessions. But I think the thing that, a lot of people don't understand is that it's important to take care of yourself. And I found for me that, when I focus on my spiritual self and I focus on, it kind of just is a culmination of everything. And when you focus on like your energies, you kind of start picking the pieces that everything kind of just falls into place. And it's still falling into place for me. I can't say I'm perfect, but I can say that I'm definitely working towards, the better healing that I want to continue to have.
Exactly. And it is a process, because it is that whole journey that we talk about.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think if you kind of keep that in mind, that it's not about the destination, but of course, all of the steps and just the natural unfoldings that come with it, it's so much more valuable overall. So
Mm-hmm.
totally agree with that. Yeah, and also love my Dr. Joe Dispenza. Love his Living Supernatural, the Supernatural book. I have that one, and I even purchased one of his meditations because it was just so valuable to me. Yeah. Okay, great. And then if you could kind of just briefly describe to our audience, what exactly a business coach is, what they particularly do, so we can get a general idea of that.
Yeah, so primarily what I do is, I think about it like this. When you're an entrepreneur, there's just so many areas of where to start. And so as a business coach, I'm the facilitator of that person of like, what should you start to do? Where should you focus your energies on? And what is your game plan? So I basically, since I work with online coaches, I notice a lot that, they have the destination in mind in terms of they want to work with clients, but they don't know how to go about doing it. And, maybe they've heard like, things that big gurus preach of like just post on social media and you'll get clients, but I see it over and over again just not work for them. And so it's just more than just, you posting content on social media. It's about like you knowing your ideal client avatar, having a marketing strategy that works. And basically what I do is I kind of give you shortcuts, right? You can go ahead and figure it out on your own, or you can invest in a shortcut that's going to save you time, energy, and money. And the reason why it's going to save you time, energy, and money is because I've tested, all the strategies that I've done, and I pick what works and what doesn't work. So I basically, saved you that time, energy, and money because I spent the time, energy, and money, and it realized it did or did not work, right? And so when you think about business coaching, it's really about, giving you the strategy for a game plan of, whatever result that you want, but also testing strategies beforehand before we teach you, X strategy or Y strategy. Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I think, again, time is money, right? we all
Yeah.
know we all know that saying. Yeah. So, and I think that's where a lot of the frustration lies is I'm the type of person, if I have a plan, I will take the steps, I'll execute the plan. But if I don't have one, or yes, if I am wasting time with something that's not going to yield me any results, it does get quite frustrating. So if you have someone who's kind of paving the way where, yes, you need to do the work, but here are the steps to do it, I think that's invaluable. So totally get that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing is like, a lot of people, and this is just like a briefly like investment 2 cents that I'm very passionate about investing, especially when it's in my own business. And what I've realized is that, when you think about the literal definition of insanity, my definition is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting, different results, right? You can't do the same thing over and over again and get a different result. You're going to get the same result, right? And so it comes to a point where it's kind of like a value exchange in the sense of, is where I'm at right now, being stuck, more valuable than, me investing something and being unstuck and changing and finding a step-by-step strategy to X goal? You're going to determine which one is valuable. And if investing in your vision, transforming your life holds more value, then whatever the investment price, it does not matter. Price or whatever is irrelevant. And I think so many individuals get stuck on like, Is it the investment? Is it this? That you have to understand that, your 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure you is here today. It's not tomorrow. It's today. And so if it's today, what is this person going to be operating out of? Abundance or scarcity? And I think, there's a whole rabbit hole that I can go down with this because I'm so passionate about it. But, back to spirituality is like, if you truly believe in, for me, I'm just going to speak on my end, but if I truly believe in being spiritual and abundance in my life, then why worry? Why worry about money? Why worry about all these things? Because I know the universe, God, whoever your believing higher power is, they already took care of you. They already took care of me. So why do I need to be concerned about something that, I already know for certain that I already have? So that's just a thing that, we're connecting it to spirituality.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a great way of kind of summing it up
Mm-hmm.
because, I feel like I've said that to people or you hear that a lot, but if you only hear it within that spiritual lens, it's kind of, you're kind of missing a lot of the picture. But when you do say it in a business sense, okay, now we have a place where where it can land, where we can kind of see it in real life, if you will. And it kind of connects all of those different worlds together. Okay, great. And then what is, a misconception about coaching in general? What's something that some people you've noticed they get wrong about it, or they just kind of assume something that's not true? It's kind of something you would like to clear up.
So a misconception that I see over and over again is like you need a large audience in order to get paying coaching clients. And the reason why I say that is because, you'll see all these mini courses of like get your first 100 followers within 10 days or, your IG stories. And, that is all great. It is, support the higher goal. But when you really think about it, what is the end goal? The end goal usually is money in some sort of way, right? You need to have like a certain dollars in your bank account. And I think people sometimes are more concerned about, the followers they have on their IG account or whatever account than the dollars that they have in their bank account. And the reason why I say this is because, I'll get messages and they'll say like, Tina, like, I'm liking a bunch of pictures, I'm doing all these things. And I'm like, well, why are you doing the things that are not moving the needle faster in your business? Do you really care if you're getting another 100 followers, or do you care if you're making your next $1,000 in 10 days? And then that puts things into perspective. If your goal is, hit a $10,000 month, I know this is something that's really big in the coaching industry, 10K months, right? It's about understanding that, what are you doing in your day to day that's actually going to get you there? You consuming social media, you posting content, yeah, that might be great, but, Melissa, I'm not sure if it's okay to swear here, but, that might be great, but like seriously, like what the fuck are you doing with your time?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm no bullshit, so like I have no problem swearing and things like that. So the thing is that, when you look at your time of what you have, like we mentioned earlier, time is something that you can't get back. It's literally an invalid, like it's such a valuable resource that it's like, why spend your time focusing on the things that are not working? Why don't you spend your time focusing on the things that are moving the needle? For example, having conversations. Stop waiting for your clients to come to you. Go to your clients. And this is something that I see preached a lot in the coaching industry is like, I'll just post a social media post, or I'll send an email to my email list, right? Or I'll pay for ads, and just clients are just going to come pouring into my way. And yes, that does happen, right? It's happened for me. It's happened for other coaches I've seen. But when you're just starting, like, don't fall into this big guru trap of like, it's easy just to get clients. And I'm not saying that it's not easy, but what I'm saying is that, take what you can control. And if you can control, your client, you working with clients, start by going to the client. Don't let the client
Mm-hmm.
come to you. Go to them. Because majority of businesses, like, why do you think marketing and ads and like all these, phone callers and things like that, they go to their clients. So why can't you be that person that does that yourself? Like, it's kind of like in a way like, entrepreneurship glorifies this financial freedom, which it does, it's true, but they don't talk about the work that it takes to actually get there. It takes hard work. And if you're not, this is like what I've seen with coaches. If you truly don't love what you're fucking doing, this is not the business for you, because there will be times, I've experienced them, where you will cry your eyes out and it will suck. It will really suck ass. But, going back to your why of what do you love to do, that will always bring you back. And if you're in it just for the money's not going to get you there. I guarantee you, it's not just going to be about the money for you if you want to succeed. So yeah.
No, that was very helpful. Yeah, it is all about the why. I do like that you brought that up, because passion's not something that could really be taught. You're either passionate about what you're doing or you're not. It's one or the other. And I love what you said about outreach, because even when I used to do recruiting, I got my best candidates from outreach. Obviously, I created job descriptions. I posted them on job boards, and I was paying to have that job description out there. And I would get all these applicants, but most of them weren't even qualified for the role. But then when I would look at someone's LinkedIn profile and say, hey, these 5 people are qualified, that was already streamlining it a bit. And then they were so flattered that, HR reached out to them for a job.
Yeah.
And yeah, it saved me time, it saved me money, and I got really great candidates out of it. So that's kind of another real life experience of outreach and how it does work. Okay, great. Yeah, go ahead.
If I could say anything, 100% of my clients, maybe like 1 or 2 is by referral, were direct outreach. And that's just it. Like, if you're listening to this podcast from me and Melissa, go and do the dang thing, do the outreach. It's a simple conversation. Let's go. Let's do it.
The worst that can happen is they ignore you or say no thank you. I mean, or just go away. Oh, wow.
But the thing is like, think about it. Like, if they say no, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, because I have full intention and belief that you're going to be having just more than one conversation with someone. You can be having like 5, 20, 100 conversations with a person outreaching. One person saying no is not going to be a big deal, because you got like 99 of them you can talk to.
It's like dating, right? Yeah. It's like it's not the first person you meet that you end up with. It could be, it totally could be, but usually it's not. So
that's why Tinder is such a thing.
Yes, exactly. See, same concept. Okay, great. All right. And then my next cue was, just you being a spiritually minded person, partaking in a lot of different self-care methods. How has that helped you run your business in a more efficient or better manner? And how have you seen working with the two together to kind of create something really great?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. And I'm just going to precursor this to say, if you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking, maybe I should get into spirituality and really do it. I'm going to say, before I got into spirituality, I was that person that was like, nope, it's not for me. I'm not going to do it. Like, that's just too woo for me, right? And, long story short, I worked with a mindset coach, and she kind of really told me, like, it is about spirituality. And it wasn't until that, I just decided, I was like, fuck it. Like, clearly me working very hard 24/7 is not working, right? But I was like, since I can't do what I can't do, because the work hard method didn't work for me, I was just like, I'm just gonna surrender. I'm just gonna say, universe, no, show me a sign. Please let me know. And I will say, sometimes I think the universe kind of gives you like we're gonna test you, right? So what ended up happening at that specific time, for example, was I had this big launch, and 2 weeks before I got my first few clients, like, I was seriously considering giving up on my business because nothing was working. I was working literally like a dog 24/7. And I was crying. I was exhausted. I was tired. And, I really had a breakdown where I was like, I don't think I can do this. And then I said, like, universe, like, you know what? let you take the hand. Let's figure it out. So I did the gratitude meditation. I did the work that I needed to do. So I had no other options. And you start to feel sometimes like when you're actually in alignment, kind of just everything falls into place. And, when I just decided, like, I'm not going to worry, I'm just going to let it happen. I'm going to take care of myself. Self-care, that's all I can control. That's all I'm going to do. And we're going to make it happen. Obviously, there are more in-depth steps of what I did, but what ended up happening was when I surrendered to universe, within 10 days, I brought in $17,500 cash in my coaching business. And that was really big. That was like, whoa, like, okay, the universe just gave me a big ass sign that says, you see, something worked, right? And so what happens, back to the question of like, how does this coincide? How does spirituality coincide with business? If you're anyone like me who's an overachiever, who legitimately has no problem working hard, but may have more difficulty relaxing, then spirituality is truly what you need. And let me define spirituality if you're that overachiever. Spirituality to me is, taking care of myself and knowing that the universe has my back. I can't say, 100% I have, it doesn't, when things are really shitty sometimes, I'm just like, universe, like, what's up? What are we doing? Like, come on, like, help me out. But then every time I look back and I say, like, those things that it didn't work out, it was like, thank God it didn't work out. Because there's either two things that happen. Either it's going to go out perfectly or it's going to be a really great lesson. And those lessons where things did not work out, they were big lessons that truly changed my life. And when it comes to self-care, of like, why does that even matter, Tina? Like, why does that matter into your business? Why do you need to take care of yourself? Well, I've realized that you cannot manifest anything. You cannot bring more clients in your business. You cannot, change your current situation if you are exhausted, if you are tired, if you are stressed the fuck out. And I think you know what I'm talking about if you're an overachiever. You can't do it because, think about it like this. When I was stressed out and I wanted to get clients, I was just thinking about when's my next client? Where am I going to go? Where's it going to happen? But I realized to a point, I'm like, it's no wonder that people are saying no to me. Because when they hear the voice that's coming to the call, on the sales call, they hear the desperation. They hear the stressed outness. They hear the expiration. So I'm not surprised that they said no. And in some ways, I'm kind of glad that they said no, because think about it like this. You wanting more money, you wanting more clients, all these things. Do you really think with full certainty you can take on all those clients and all that money if you are exhausted, stressed out, and provide great results? More
No
than
way.
likely. Yeah, absolutely not, right? It doesn't work. And so it's the minute where you realize truly that, you're putting yourself before your business, that's important. Because, what I've realized is that there's no point in you being successful in business if you're alone. There's no point in being successful in business if you're not spending time with your family, if you're not taking the weekends off, if you're not like, watching your Netflix show and truly just being able to just chill and relax. The money's not worth it. It's not worth that. And so, I had to learn that the hard way, but I'm still learning it. It's being an overachiever, I think I have more challenges relaxing than I do working. And it's a daily challenge that I think, we continue to work through. And spirituality just helps that process a lot more easier and streamlined.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if there is no balance, there's nothing. You're just going to fall apart. Even if you're really excelling in one area of your life, it's still going to topple over eventually. So well put, definitely. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And then was there any, just kind of like one takeaway that you wanted to give to people who are budding business owners? Just one last thing that maybe we didn't get to.
Yeah. I think, we've demonstrated the importance of investing. So we already know that. The second thing that I think is really important is, let me kind of like think about this for a second.
Sure.
I would say don't feel like you're failing, right? You know, I watched this movie yesterday. I think it's called Courage by Brene Brown. It's on Netflix.
Mhm.
Don't quote me on the name, but I know it's from Brene Brown. And she had said, like, you know, when it comes to you having courage, what do you think about courage? Can you have courage if you don't have, you know, that uncertainty, risk, or emotional exposure? Think about this. Was there ever a time where you were courageous but you didn't have that risk, uncertainty, or emotional exposure? If you know that, send me a DM. I'll really love to know, right?
Yeah.
That's very true, right? And the thing is that when you transition into entrepreneurship, it takes courage, but you are learning. You are always learning. And I think people are so wrapped up in the outcome of it succeeding that they never really actually pay attention to the lessons that are happening. And another thing that I also want to mention to, you know, all these entrepreneurs that are just starting out is that do not take advice from someone who has not done it before. Either who A, has not done it before, or is not at the place where you want to be. Because how the hell can you expect to listen to someone if they don't have a business, if they don't know what it means to take risk or have uncertainty or emotional exposure, right? You can't listen to them. So why do we feed into that negativity? Why do we do that? We could just straight up say no. Like, I'm going to listen to someone who's actually done it because they actually know what the fuck they're talking about, because they understand what I'm saying when I say it's hard or when it's good or things like that, right? So really, when to sum it all up is that, you know, being an entrepreneur, it takes courage. You're going to have risk, you're going to have uncertainty, and you're going to definitely have emotional exposure. But also be very cautious on who you listen to for advice. They either have to be in your position or have had to been, or they're at a place where you want to be. And that has
Mhm.
been a game changer.
Exactly. Yeah, because I've noticed just when people who are not where you want to be or haven't done the work give you advice, it is
Mhm.
usually negative, and it's because maybe they see you doing something that they didn't have the courage to do. So of course they want to kind of keep you small, even if it's on a subconscious level, to kind of feel better about themselves. So I would for sure not listen to any of those people, my personal opinion.
And also, I really want you to think about this. What I've realized is a lot of people like to project their own insecurities onto other people.
Hmm.
So question it when they say, "Oh, you can't do it." Actually, they're not talking to you. They're actually saying it to them.
Yeah.
Ask them and say, "Do you really think I can't do it, or do you really think you can't do it?" And that's going to be a different conversation. But yeah.
100%. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Okay,
Mhm.
great. And then, yeah, just to kind of wrap everything up, I mean, where can people find you? Kind of just like promote yourself a little bit for our audience members.
Yeah, so you can find me at my Facebook group. We are at this point in time over 300 members strong in our community. Start your online coaching business. This is our Facebook group. And Melissa, I can send you the link as
For
well.
sure.
And then you can find me on Instagram at Tinalopez.coaching. Send me a DM saying New Age Goddess, and I would love to, like, you know, just chat with you on your business. And then you can also find me. There's so many like social platforms now. You can find me on Clubhouse at Tina Lopez, and then I believe my TikTok is Tinalopez.coaching. But I'll send you all the links, Melissa. But
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll link it in the bio.
yeah, but I would love to see you in our community at the Start Your Online Coaching Business Facebook group. And we have tons of trainings, live videos, and there's just so many, you know, online coaches that are in this community. So I'd love to see you there.
Yes, awesome. And yes, just a disclaimer, I've also watched a ton of your videos and got a lot of knowledge myself, just,
Good.
defining my client avatar and
Yeah.
etc. So yes, highly, highly recommend. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Tina. It was lovely. I just love talking about this topic, combining the two worlds. I think it's so beneficial.
Hmm.
And,
Absolutely.
awesome. And then You guys can always find me at the New Age Goddess on Instagram, _ after each word, Facebook, New Age Goddess. My website is thenewAgeGoddess.com, where you can book a remote or in person, if you're in the Chicagoland area, Reiki healing session or Akashic Records readings. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Much love and namaste.